Hello, welcome to the Multiplayer Podcast. You're listening to This Week in Gaming. Tonight, we have a great show for you. We're covering some of our week in video games and what we've heard in the news. I'm your host, Todd, and with me, I have the forever gorgeous Paul.
Ooh, thank you, Todd. I'll take it. Hello, everyone.
And the adorable next door neighbor, Josh.
I'll take adorable. That's good. Yeah. I like the whole.
He's like he's the adorable old man in the group.
Yeah, you want to make sure I don't get lost, but you like me enough that you want to be around me and stuff.
You like we help you with groceries whenever you need help with groceries.
Hey man, I can carry 1,000 pounds of groceries at once.
Are you the type of person where you're 100%. Making one trip?
100%, dude. I will legit, and I've even got it to where, because we have a hatch on the SUV, and when I have both arms loaded down with like 200 pounds of groceries, I've learned that like I can slam the SUV door with my forehead. Like I can just reach up, kind of grab it, angle it down, close it, good to go.
I'm more impressed that you can close the door with your forehead than...
Have you seen the size of this forehead, Todd? That should not impress you.
It has a hand sticking out of it. Man. All right. This week in gaming, what have you guys been playing?
I would just like to say that I no longer need you fools, because Remnant from the Ashes went free to play on the Epic Store I don't think it's free anymore, so if you missed out, sorry. But I had like 5 friends, 5 real true friends that picked up this game, and I have been playing with, and I have been having so much fun with these friends, and they all think the game is wonderful. So on both you guys.
I picked it up, Josh. I was like, you know what? We're going to play it. Josh loves this game. I trust him. I'm just not even going to read the reviews because it's free. But I have yet to download it. I don't know if it's worth the space on my hard drive.
It's well worth it.
I also don't know if it's worth the cost of straining your eyes the whole time because it's so dark. You got to squint to see. Josh's eyesight might already be going in his old age. So
not on the level that we're on now. It's bright and beautiful.
It's the one outdoor level.
Well, I really am happy for you, Josh. I'm glad you found some friends willing to play Remnant, because it's not me.
It's not Todd either. I got excited when Todd was like, "Oh, it's free? Sure, I'll pick it up." And then Todd still hasn't even started the game yet.
I didn't even pick it up for free.
I don't need you guys. I got real friends.
I love Paul. Paul returned the game and then wouldn't pick it up for free again.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I've been there, done that.
Not even like the whole, like, maybe one day I'll feel like playing this, so let me just put it in my account. Paul is like, Nope, free ain't good enough for me.
I don't want it to clutter my list of games on Epic Games.
Oh, man.
Oh, all right. I've been playing. It's one of my favorite games. I'm going to put that out there. Age of Empires 2. It's been a few weeks, and I'm back in it. I'm back playing Age of Empires 2, guys. When are you guys going to join me?
1999. Were you alive when Age of Empires 2 released, Todd?
Yes, of course I was. I bought it. Well, all right. I got it as a Christmas gift the year it was released.
Mm. Is there a reason you're playing Age of Empires 2 instead of 3?
I enjoyed 2 more.
Yeah.
It's more competitive. It seems more balanced. Like there's less like guns really in it.
It's a first person shooter?
Yes.
No, it's a RTS, Josh. I don't know if you've ever heard of RTSs.
What the heck is that?
Is that ray tracing.
Are those games nobody plays anymore?
No, okay. First off, RTS is alive and well.
It's a thriving genre, according to Todd and his 7 friends.
I think there's something to say if like Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition is like one of the most popular RTS games out right now. You have what? That StarCraft.
So this game that came out in 1999 is one of the most popular RTSs, like in 2020.
Okay. No. Let me correct you.
When did it release? I was just guessing.
It released like 20 years ago, I'm pretty sure.
It might be older than I thought.
They remastered it, and then this is a remaster on the remaster.
Oh my goodness.
Are you ready for the name? Definitive Edition. This is the last remaster. It's the definitive edition for the game.
If you can't nail it down, by the way, it did come out in 99, so that was quite the guess.
Jeez.
Nice.
If you can't nail that game down in 20 years, then I don't know what to tell you. So,
well, they did. It's back on top.
So wait, you still play real-time strategy games?
I still play real-time strategy games with people who used to play real-time strategy games 20 years ago, because I'm pretty sure they haven't gained a new player since it was released.
No one under the age of 26 plays RTS games.
I mean, so I knew you guys were going to bring this up, and I'm like, I want to make sure Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition is the number one real-time strategy game, because like that's the stake I want to put down in this game. Found a list that listed the top RTS games for 2020.
As far as like the most number of players, or which ones are the best? Okay, number of players.
It's one of those. I didn't pay attention that much. Age of Empires 2, Command and Conquer, StarCraft 2, and
Games
then
are
Warcraft 3.
The remaster of Warcraft 3 or the original? Because didn't they remaster that one?
They did.
And then it flopped?
I think all of these are remasters.
Oh my goodness.
Because, no one has Windows XP.
So, Todd and I have actually played Age of Empires within the last couple months.
And Paul loved it.
I did not love it. I am very sorry, Todd. I know how much you love Age of Empires, and I like Age of Empires, but I have always jokingly said it is the worst of the good RTS games. It is a whole tier below all those other ones you just mentioned. Command and Conquer, Warcraft 3, StarCraft.
You don't get it. Do you understand economics? Do you understand wall strategy? Do you understand boar hunting? Because that is very critical to the game.
Blitzing to knighthood or whatever that strategy is in Age of Empires.
Castle rush?
Castle
That's
Rush.
one of
there
the
you
strategies.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness. You guys are dorks.
You're a dork. Josh, you're the old one in the group. This should be your bread and butter. Where are you?
No, I've played. Look, number one, I do not like real-time strategy games at all. I've never really liked them. I did play StarCraft, that whole like trilogy. I played Warcraft way back in the day, like the first RTS. StarCraft, Wings of Liberty, the Heart of the Swarm, those were good. I enjoyed them. I played them all, but this is not. There is a reason that, to me, that RTS games have died.
What's the reason?
Because they're not fun, man. Like,
oh,
I don't want to try to do like 5,000 actions per minute. Oh, look at his clicks per second going on there, guys. Like, no.
So what RTS games have you played, Josh?
StarCraft, Warcraft.
Just number one?
Yeah.
Warcraft 1.
No, I played like 1, 2.
1995.
I feel like I played like 1, 2, and maybe 3.
3 was very good. Warcraft 3 to me is probably the pinnacle of RTS.
Was that the
games.
War Chest one? Which one had the War Chest? I actually went to the store and bought that. Like I had it was the Warcraft War Chest. It came in a huge box, and I don't know which ones were included. That might have been 3.
They've had a lot of bundles like that. I'm not entirely too sure.
And I mean, StarCraft is great. StarCraft 2, I played that game a pretty good bit, but they just do not resonate with me. The reason, I think I've said this before, the reason being is that I focus way too much on like one task, and I cannot manage like 50 things at once. It just, my brain doesn't work that way. And if I can turtle up like big time, and just amass this like huge force, then I do great. But if you're making me do 20 things at once, then I fail miserably.
That's fair. I mean, a lot of RTS games you have 3 different forces all fighting, and you're trying to keep the economy up back at home, and like you're bouncing around between hotkeys.
Yeah.
So I get that. Like, if you want to be focused on like one action at a time, like...
I will never forget, this is a true story. I was playing StarCraft 2. I was working on building up my base and getting technology going, and I had all my workers and minerals and all that. And one lone Protoss guy from the enemy team came into my base and killed everything I owned. Because he killed all my workers. I tried to like spawn some Zerglings or whatever, and then he killed those. It was terrible. And I think that's probably the last time I ever played that game, because I was like, this is stupid.
You must build additional pylons.
Yeah. Spawn more overlords.
That's funny. Yeah, I loved RTS games. They definitely really peaked in the late 90s. I don't know why it was over such a short period of time, but I feel like everybody I knew played Command and Conquer, Red Alert, StarCraft. We would do LAN parties where a bunch of us would carry our giant desktops and our giant CRT monitors. Like, this was no easy task.
That's a 50-pound monitor right there.
Yeah, it would take an hour for everyone to set stuff up. But I remember we all owned our own, Ethernet switches, so we could all hub up and play these LAN parties. And shout out to our friend Brandon Marine. He and I always loved Battle for Middle-earth 1 and 2, the Lord of the Rings RTS games. Everyone was making RTS games at the time. And quite honestly, most of them were pretty good.
Did you know Battle for Middle-earth is somewhat making a resurgence?
I'm not surprised to hear that, but what makes you say that? Are they remastering it or something?
No, because
it's the definitive edition.
EA lost the license for Lord of the Rings, so they can't make it anymore. So a community group has been recreating the game in a new engine, and apparently this past week or so, they released like a big update. Like, this is like 2 years and some change in the making, and they released a big update showing gameplay footage, and it looks awesome. It looks like what I remember that game being.
That's cool. And they always had the real voice actors, which was another really cool part of the game. So you would be hearing these characters talk to you, and they had cutscenes in the campaigns. When do you guys think RTS games died? Like, I can't even remember the last time a major RTS released that was not a remaster.
The day that one lone Protoss killed me was the day they died.
The one shot heard around the world. All humanity shut down.
The echoes.
Well, StarCraft 2 had a giant esports scene.
That game's not that old. What, 2013 or something?
I think that was it.
I feel like it's been in the last 6-7 years. You guys are making me nostalgic, though, man. Like, I start thinking about games like the RTS. I was never into that, but you guys know my love of like the X-Wing TIE Fighter games. I mean, the rant I went on for Star Wars Squadrons was, incredible. But like, that's another genre that just doesn't. Is Squadrons going to be great? I don't know. Like, I'd love to see that come back. I mean, I'm such a fan of that, but I got all this hope in Star Wars Squadrons, but I don't know.
I think you got the name wrong. It's called Star Fox Definitive Edition. Remastered.
Enhanced graphics. Star Fox is just a Sith Lord now.
Man, yeah. I mean, I think you're right. Like, I loved Star Fox, but I don't know. Like, that game was unique to me when it came out. And since then, like, there hasn't been a lot of games that do air combat.
Yeah, like there's been some one-player stuff here or there. Like when we talked about No Man's Sky, there's like an element of dogfighting in the game. But the whole idea of having multiplayer games that were dogfights just doesn't exist anymore. One of the games I played the most growing up was Descent. Do you guys know what that is?
Yes.
Josh's eyes just got really big.
Yeah, blast from the past, man.
Yeah, Descent and Descent 2, I played with a couple of my friends. This is still in the days of dial-up. So we would do, dial up to one another directly. We'd play online, and Descent was like 360 degree. You would fly your spaceship. You would try to blow up a reactor and then find your way out of the maze before the whole place blew up. But at the same time, you'd be racing against your opponent while also shooting them. Those games were a blast. Air combat games were fun. I really do hope that Squadrons brings it back. I think it's like a huge genre that's just missing right now. There's a hole in the market, and I think it's kind of genius to bring it in under the Star Wars licensing. What's not to love?
Yeah, for me, I played Battlefield 1 multiplayer as an air fighting game and just didn't run around with my gun. I only I would be the guy waiting there for the aircraft to spawn and then immediately click it and then just be flying through the air. And that was my game, was just flying through the air in Battlefield 1. And it's so much fun. Dog fighting in the air, trying to loop around, especially with all of not in this game, but trying to do that in VR would be insane.
Oh. Probably make you sick.
Having a controller, having a controller and just doing flips and being able to look up and try to spot him compared to where you are, that would be amazing. So I hope these air fighting combat, shooting games come back, because I feel like technology has improved and it would be way more fun.
While we're on the topic of dogfighting games, can I tell you guys a funny story about me and Todd's brother-in-law, Jason?
Oh, definitely.
All right.
Love it.
Oh, man, I can't believe I totally forgot about this until just now. So back in the heyday of RTS games and dogfighting games, we would always have these big LAN parties. And my brother-in-law, Jason, was very young at the time. I want to say he was 8 or 9. And he really always wanted to play with us, but he didn't have a PC that he could play stuff on. And my friend Eric, who was my roommate, decided to play a prank on Jason and told him that we were going to start playing a game in LAN parties called LAN Party Flyers, The Chronicles of Captain Kazoo. Okay. And our friends Andy and Eric had Photoshop, probably illegally, but they created a fake box cover, sent it to Jason and said, call Best Buy right now and ask them if they have this in stock. And so my poor 8 or 9 year old brother-in-law calls Best Buy asking if they have the Chronicles of Captain Kazoo LAN Party Flyers. And he was so crushed to find out that it didn't exist, because my friends told him, you don't have to have a computer. It's a board game and online, and you can just do the board game part while we're doing this, and you can play with us. And looking back now, it's sad because
so
he was so excited. That was so mean. Jason, I'm so sorry on behalf of my friends, but the Chronicles of Captain Kazoo is not an actual game.
What an elaborate joke to go through and Photoshop and create box art cover.
Oh, they were pranksters. Bonnie, I don't know if she ever told you the story, Todd, but your wife was having a party at my in-laws' house. Me, Andy, and Eric bought ski masks, cut out holes, started flipping the circuit breakers on and off in the middle of one of her birthday parties, and then we stormed in and scared the daylights out of her and her friends. So I think we were the baddies as I look back on these stories.
She just refers to that as the incident.
Yeah, we probably caused some severe trauma, but there you go.
That is awesome. That's the best troll ever, and then I feel really bad for Jason too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. That's amazing though.
Yep.
I don't know what
I can say this. I have played a space combat VR game. When I got my first Oculus, there was a Eve. I don't remember the name of it, but it was Space Combat Eve Universe, and I thought it was going to be the coolest thing in the world. Dude, that will make you hurl like you would not believe.
Really?
Yes.
Because there's so much motion and
asteroids flying around, the motion, you start spinning and then the world spins and then your brain is just like, let me out of here. And then and then you're like, no, this is really cool, man. And then your brain's like, it's just doesn't.
Have you guys been in one of the like actual flight simulators that will flip you upside down?
No. That sounds like fun.
So there was one when I lived near DC. There was one in DC in the Air and Space Museum. You know, it costs like $30 or something insane to go in. But it's like this giant cage you go in the middle of, and then you're just in a cockpit, but you strap in and it will flip you upside down. So if you pull back, like you're completely upside down, you can do barrel rolls. Like it has full, complete motion. And that was like a crazy, crazy experience. Just being able to have that amount of control, like in that type of environment.
I've already ordered that setup for Star Wars Squadrons. I just haven't told my family yet.
Oh my goodness. I loved, you were all about like, oh, I'm going to order like a flight control panel, dude, and blah, blah, blah.
Do you know how much those are?
And all these buttons.
Floor
and then
pedals.
I sent you a link to like one that was like $70. No, I think I started at like 500.
Yeah, it was
and
$759, the one you asked me if I was getting. And then that got me to searching Amazon for an actual affordable one. They don't exist. There is not a flight stick you can get that is not like $100, man. And that's for your super cheesy, terrible one.
But like an Xbox controller brand new is what, 50?
I've changed my stance on that. I'm playing on an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope Squadrons is good, man. I miss these like genres that should be here.
Yeah, like RTS games.
No, not those. Not those.
What genre would you bring back?
I mean, I think part of this is nostalgia. I legitimately would really like a great MMO to play. Like, that would solve my game ADD. Like, I posted a picture in our Discord server today where it's like my desktop and I have like 15 game icons on there, and I've played all of these games for like 4 hours, with the exception of like a couple of them. But I was like, I've made no qualms about my love of EverQuest. I never played WoW, so I missed that era, but EverQuest was better anyway, so it's fine. But I tried to play an MMO with my daughter, and it just fell really, really short of what I was wanting. And I mean, that genre is dead, man. Dead.
Warcraft still is a thriving community, Josh. Millions of subscribers.
Dead.
I just recently quit
Guild
WoW.
Wars.
I was loving playing WoW
and
Classic.
that proves my point. Dead.
You're dead.
Yes, that one subscription out of 2 to 3
really
million.
Needed you, Paul.
It really killed it. Yeah, I was single-handedly funding Blizzard. Yeah, MMOs. I am shocked at how many people still play these old ones. Speaking of my brother-in-law Jason, this week he had posted that he and all his friends started playing Guild Wars 2. I was shocked to find out that there are still people that play these old MMOs. So do you think that people are just nostalgic for those old ones that they want to go back to? Or is it just that good MMOs aren't coming out?
Well, Guild Wars 2 is free to play. And so I think there's a lot of these that have become free to play. And so they solved that issue with, hey, I don't want to pay $15 a month. I think nobody's brave enough to develop like an actual world-class MMO at this point, because if it flops,
they're so pricey.
Yeah, I mean, look at Amazon with New World, right? Like, they delayed it until 2021 because I don't even know how many millions they've spent developing this game, but they released the beta and everybody went, dude, this sucks.
And they've been developing it since before Age of Empires 2 came out.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's got to be super scary. I will say this, Ashes of Creation, I don't know if you guys have heard of that. We chatted about this offline, but a friend of ours had linked a MMO coming up called Ashes of Creation that I am super interested in. The trailer looks amazing. I mean, if it happens, I would love to have a fun MMO to play again, to be honest with you. Like, that fits my gaming style, that fits my love of progression, and hey, what are we all going to play tonight? And it's like, oh, well, we're all hopping in, but I just don't know if they can do it anymore, man. To me, I mean, I know there's still a lot of millions of people that play MMOs, but to me, that genre seems dead because there's just been no really good MMOs that have come out lately that have caught on.
Yeah, I love MMOs. I'd love to see them come back. You know, another goofy genre that I actually would love to come back, and I'm not even joking when I say this, text-based adventure games.
Yes!
Out of here.
No, Todd, you shut your mouth. Yes!
You oldies.
I don't care how old that makes me sound. I know we always make fun of Josh. The reason I love video games is for the stories. And it doesn't matter if it's text or graphic. I am here for good stories or good multiplayer experiences with my friends. And I don't care if it's just written word. I loved playing text-based games in the past. One of my earliest memories are playing these old games called Hugo and Penelope. There were 3 of them. I don't know if you guys remember these at all, but that was one when technology got good enough that you'd walk around with your character, but you still had to type your actions. And I actually Googled like modern text adventures, and there is an MMO text-based RPG called Torn that I was actually going to message you guys and see if you want to play. They have 30,000 active users, and it's an MMO where you can be a criminal or a fighter or a drug dealer or a criminal. It's like all kinds of crazy options. And I love games like that. Let me have an interesting, intriguing story, and I'm in.
How would you even do a text-based RPG?
Yeah, I don't understand how that MMO would work at all.
Yeah, like you can attack other players and attack their hideouts and stuff like that. It looks interesting.
To be clear, when you say text-based, you mean fully text, like where it's like, it's a paragraph. You enter a room and then you type in like, look around. Then it's like, there's a table in the corner with a dagger on the table. And then you type in like, take dagger. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I just want to make sure.
Look in drawer. Oh,
Todd,
yeah.
Have you 100%. Ever played one of these games?
I played. All right. So I remember back in the day
with my grandpappy
when my dad had to help me turn on games because they had to be booted in DOS.
Yeah.
It was a game.
Zork? Was it called Zork?
Even know. No,
I know all these games.
It was like a haunted mansion, and you would walk around out front, and then the one thing you had to do was smash the pumpkin and take the key.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Wasn't that
Hugo.
Haunted House?
That's Hugo's Haunted House. That's Hugo and Penelope Part 1. Look who's old now, Todd. You're congratulations. Welcome to AARP. You're going to get discounts now.
Do I become a member?
Yes. Now we can eat dinner at 4:00. This is great.
Jeez. But yeah, to my credit, my dad had to help me boot the game because I was too young to figure it out.
Oh, so funny. You know, lately I've been watching a documentary on Netflix called High Score, and one entire episode is about RPG games, and they spend a lot of time talking about the development of text-based RPGs, and that really made me feel nostalgic for it. I remember playing those games on really old Apple computers in elementary school. I always loved it. As long as it's a good story, you get sucked into that type of world. I don't need graphics. Just let me get fully immersed.
If I wanted a book, I would get a book.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy has it. There was a full text-based game, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it was great.
Do you think there's a definitive edition?
The remastered with extra fonts.
In Courier and Times New Roman.
Wow.
That was bold text.
Oh, jeez. All right, well, that's our show for this week. Thank you for tuning in. If you're not subscribed, make sure to go to your podcasting app and subscribe to get fresh content twice a week. If you're interested in finding out more information, you can find us at our website, multiplayerpodcast.com, Patreon, multiplayersquad.com, Twitch TV, multiplayerpod, Twitter, multiplayerpod, and Instagram, multiplayerpodcast.
Boom.
We still didn't get multiplayer pod on that one, guys.
What if they want to contact us by fax?
by fax
or AOL Instant Messenger, in case they're still in this world of Age of Empires 2 and they want to reach out on AIM.
Wait, you're making fun of Age of Empires 2 when you threw out text-based games?
I concede that's a fair point.
Hugo is approaching 80 nowadays. Jeez. But yeah, that's our show for today. See you guys Monday.
See ya, everyone.
See you guys.
Can we make a multiplayer podcast definitive edition? Just like a remaster of our podcast?
Would that be like me with hair? Now with hair effects on Josh.